The goal of today's session is why a challenge works so well, how a challenge is set up, and how to work out the numbers, the complete challenge framework. And when you stay to the end, you'll get the full funnel challenge roadmap. Just a little brief about who I am, just in case you don't know who I am. My name is Polly, and I started my business back in 2008 from my kitchen table, selling those inflatable, wacky, waving air dancers. You see them at car garages. Now, back then, it was really not cool to build a business from your house. So I decided at the time that I needed to create a massive looking brand. I needed a big brand. So people thought I was a lot bigger than I was. And it worked until one day I got a phone call from a big UK TV channel and my daughter started crying in the background and I got busted big time. Lost me the deal, but I did get them come back a few years later and they did buy from me several times over and over again. And it was that day I decided that I needed to get some premises. So I leased a small unit with a tiny little office and I did that business for about 10 years and I built that business up. We created our own actual factory where we manufactured the massive inflatables and we were turning over just short of £400,000 a year. That's about $500,000 in a year. I learned a lot about marketing in that time, a lot about how to work with worldwide brands while I was building that business. 2 years ago, I decided that I wanted to put all of my marketing knowledge to good use and help others build their empires. As I really discovered over the years that many business owners that I knew, they all struggled with their sales and marketing. I've been in sales all my life, well, since I was about 17. And I knew that I really wanted to help people and I really wanted to get really good on one platform. So I chose ClickFunnels. I learned everything I could about funnels. I already knew everything about email automations because I used to use Infusionsoft and landing pages and all of that and funnels through Infusionsoft. But now ClickFunnels was a new thing, an easier version compared to Infusionsoft was a nightmare. Then I started learning everything I could learn about chatbots. So why challenge funnels? I've been watching the market over the past 18 months and I've been learning, watching, spying, love a bit of spying. This is while I've been working with my one-on-one clients and I've been creating their funnel strategies, building out their funnels, testing, and more testing, creating automations, building chatbots, and it's all been as a done for you service. But I'm always watching, see what those gurus do. I've always got an eye on the gurus. And it's called funnel hacking, as Russell says. I'm really nosy, so I love funnel hacking. It's the best. You can go see what everybody else is doing, finding out what's working, what's not working. And I started to see a bit of a recurring theme with these challenges. They were popping up all over the internet. So what does Russell Brunson, Dean Graziosi, Tony Robbins, Grant Cardone, what have they all got in common? They all use challenges as an effective way to grow their communities online. Russell Brunson, founder of ClickFunnels, he has the One Funnel Away challenge and it's a paid challenge. It costs $100 for 30 days. Then you've got Dean and Tony. They did the challenge called the KBB challenge. Now they've got a new challenge coming out soon. I saw it advertised on my Facebook feed last night. Amy Porterfield, she's got a challenge that runs twice a year, the Thriving List challenge. Pete Vargas, he did the Rise Up 2020 challenge and he's got another challenge coming out very shortly now. More and more challenges, I keep seeing them. So I kept seeing them, should I say. I decided that I needed to find out a bit more as it was obviously working if all these big gurus are using them. As they say, don't try and reinvent the wheel. See what's working, model it. And that's what I did. I hacked all these challenge funnels. I found out about the live launch method. I put it all together and I tested it out for one of my clients and it worked like a dream. And since then, we've launched quite a few challenges. I do see different people coming up with slightly different challenge models. But today, I'm going to dissect and show the model that I've used and I know it's proven for me because I know it works. So let's dive in. What is a challenge? A challenge is time-bound. You choose anything from 5 to 90 days. I don't believe you should do under 5 days. I've seen people do 3 days, but that usually only works if you have a massive audience already. Usually, if it's over 14 days, it's a paid challenge. 5 days, 7-day challenges, they are usually done as free challenges. It's delivered live every day for your chosen time period. Live, so it's a 5-day challenge, you go live every day for 5 days. And it's delivered inside a private community. And the easiest way to deliver is inside a Facebook group, because everybody's on Facebook. You have to make it super easy for people to show up and attend. If you try and do it on a platform that they don't know, it will be harder to take people away. So keep them on the platform that they like and trust. And it's free, so that's even better. So a challenge has got one primary objective or result for your attendees. Now you must be giving them a promised result or an outcome for everybody who shows up. It's a challenge, so you will be pushing them out of their comfort zone every day and getting them to commit to that one thing for every day of the challenge. And if they do that, they will get your promised result. You get all your participants to commit up front, show up daily, and they must take action every day to get the outcome that you promise them. And you do that on day one. You get that commitment on day one. Then you will show up live. Your commitment to them is showing up live every day. You're giving them some training between 20 minutes and an hour live every day. Now, a lot of people will be thinking, what do I do with my lives? We will go through that when we get to the funnel build. Then you must give them a daily task. And that daily task will give them a mini micro win every single day. It's going to be a small task. You can create like a worksheet in Canva. And it's just going to have a few things for them to do, but it's giving them that micro win. I signed up for a video challenge, 21-day video challenge, and the daily assignment was record one new video every day. But I haven't recorded one new video every day because he wasn't going live every day. He didn't give the incentives. The prizes weren't good enough. It just wasn't put together good enough for me. So let's talk about why a challenge. It's a well-known fact that people buy from people that they know, like, and trust. Now, I always used to say to my sales team before, make everybody you speak to your best friend. Who can say no to their best friend? Talk to people like they are your best friend, even if you've only just met them. Now, we want to build that know, like, and trust factor. Now, don't think of it as selling. It's just making new friends. So I want you to think about this for a minute. One day you pop into your local coffee shop. You sit down with your coffee. Somebody else comes in. It's not coronavirus, cafes are open. Somebody else comes in and they ask if they can sit at your table. And you say, yeah, sure, sit down. After a few minutes, you start chatting. They ask you what you do. You start telling them a bit about your background, what you do. Is it nice? Yeah, blah, blah, blah. And you have a nice time. And then you realize before you know it, an hour's passed. So you got to go. You make your excuses and you leave. The very next day, you go back to your coffee shop as you love the coffee there. And it's around the same time as yesterday. And that very person who you were chatting with, they walk in. So they come over to your table and they have a nice little chat again. And before you know it, it's been an hour and you need to leave. And that happens every day for that week. You get to know each other. You enjoy telling them all about what you're doing with your new online business, and they enjoy listening. And they enjoy finding out more about all of what you're doing because it's all totally new to them. And at the end of the week, they say to you that how lovely it's been meeting with you, and you become really good friends and you stay in touch. So I wanted to share with you that story because you can see how powerful meeting somebody and chatting to them every day for 7 days, you become really good friends with a complete stranger. And this is why a challenge is so effective, because you're showing up live and you're talking to them every day like they're your best friend. So a challenge is all about building your community all around what you do, your niche, all about your niche. It's all about your target audience. You've really got to drill down on your customer avatar. Now, if you haven't dialed in your customer avatar yet, you must do this before you can launch a challenge. Now, I have a worksheet which helps you identify your ideal customer avatar. So if you want a copy, I can get you, I can just send me an email and I can get you a copy of that sent out. So now we need to know, where do we build the community? So Facebook, as I said, Facebook groups. So step 1 is identifying your niche. Step 2 is setting up your own Facebook group. If you've got a Facebook group already, that's perfect. If you haven't, your first action step is to get that Facebook group up as soon as possible. That would be your first micro win on creating your challenge. Step 3 is naming your group. Now, if you've already got a group and it's not relevant to your new audience, then maybe you should start a new group. Now, there's lots of trainings about building Facebook groups. I will not be covering that. But you just need to think, when you name your group, who's it for and what do you help them with? What problem are you solving? Okay, so let's take a deeper dive to find out why challenges are so effective. Okay, so why are challenges so effective? Number 1, they are a great lead magnet to get people onto your list. They sign up to your challenge, you grow in your list. Number 2, they are nurturing those leads. You've heard of that saying that every person needs at least 7 touch points before making a purchase. That could be downloading your freebie, a phone call, seeing a Facebook ad, seeing a social media post, an email. So a challenge reduces that nurture system down as you're physically live with them every day for 7 days. You're emailing them every day. You're sending them messages every day. You're sending them chatbot messages every day. They're getting multiple touch points throughout that challenge. And this is why you can reduce your customer journey down to just 7 days with the challenge. If you think back to the coffee shop story, you're constantly building rapport and building that all important know, like, and trust factor. And then you've got number 3. They can't wait to buy from you. At the end of the challenge, you've built up so much rapport with them. They just don't want to leave. So when you present your offer, they just cannot wait to buy from you. And that's why you can take a cold prospect and turn them into a buyer in just 7 days with a challenge. And number 4, it is the perfect launch pad to get people onto your value ladder. Now, if you don't know what a value ladder is, let's just have a quick look at value ladders. So let's say we've got John. John doesn't know who you are, never bought anything off you. He sees you on Facebook. John saw you running a challenge, so he joins it. So John now sits at the bottom of your value ladder on his free challenge. At the end of the challenge, John buys your 197 course. Bingo, he's moved up your value ladder. He's gone up a step. That course that you sold him is about 4 weeks, and he can do it all on his own. Then at the end of that course, you sell John another product, which might be a more advanced level of the first course he bought from you, because it's always easier to sell to your current customers than try to sell to brand new customers. So that's why it's really, really important you create this value ladder. So John jumps up another step and he buys another product at 497. And then after that, he joins your group coaching, which is 1997, and that runs for 3 months. So he's gone up another step on your value ladder. And after that, he ascends to the top of your value ladder where he joins your mastermind group. It's 8997 for 12 months. So as you can see, it's all about building trust with your prospects and leading them to the top of your value ladder bit by bit by bit. Now, your first offer might not be 997. It might be 197. These are just totally random numbers I came up with just for this example. So when you're first starting out, you don't even need a course to launch your first challenge at all. You don't even need a course, but you need to think of what you're going to sell. So if you think about it, if you ran the challenge and you tried to sell John straight off the bat, that 8997, he most probably wouldn't have bought it. Now, I know quite a few people who run challenges and haven't built a single part of their course. Now, it might sound a little bit scary, but let me tell you why this is the best way to run a challenge. Now, I know quite a few people who run challenges and they haven't even built any part of their course at all. Now, this might sound a bit scary to some people, but let me tell you why this is the best way to run a challenge. The reason why it works so well is because if you've got an idea for a course or a program, but you're not really sure if people want to buy it or not, if you build it out live with your first round of clients, you can make sure exactly what they need is in that course and it's included, because they will be telling you as you go along, asking questions, and every question you can add into your course. Also, you don't have to wait for weeks or months before launching your challenge because you haven't finished building your course yet or your program. So sometimes when people build courses first, then they try and sell them and nobody wants to buy it, or they might sell some, but when you know a lot about your subject and then you create a course, you sometimes forget how little you knew at the beginning, and you make your course too in-depth. And what happens is people buy the course and there's bits missing, so you have to go back and you have to redo your course. So if you don't want to waste your time building a course that nobody wants to buy, then you build it as you go, and then you've saved yourself so much time by doing it that way around. Okay, so not all challenges are equal. A well-designed and executed challenge accomplishes every possible marketing objective you could possibly want to accomplish all at the same time. It is a proper bullseye. But beware, because some challenge models are not as effective as others. I've seen some pretty poor ones, and I think what they've tried to do is they've tried to copy a challenge, but they haven't executed it correctly. And that's why you need a roadmap for your challenge. Okay, because then when you've got a roadmap, you can make sure where you're going. Like, you might think, well, maybe I could just go live every day. I can just rock up in my group, go live, and then at the end, I'll tell them off a boom, challenge over. You could try it and you might be able to wing it, but it's not something that's repeatable. It's not a plan. It's just winging it and hoping it works. It's like old school marketing of spraying and praying, as they say, not targeting your ideal clients, just hoping somebody will buy. You need a plan, you need a roadmap, and you need to follow it to execute it step by step. You need it as your SOP, your standard operating procedures. Okay, so why is it vitally important to have this roadmap? One is so you don't get lost. You wouldn't set out on a journey in your car without a map or Google Maps. You would never find your way and you'd get sidetracked, you'd end up lost, and you'd end up in a totally different place than where you originally wanted to go. So failing to plan every single detail of your challenge is like planning to fail, basically. So back in 2016, I decided that I wanted to run the London Marathon. Now, the furthest I'd ever run at this point in my life was about 10K, which is about 6.5 miles. I applied in the April. In the October, I discovered to my amazement that I got a place. And my first thoughts were, how on earth am I going to run this? I've only ever run 6 miles. So what did I do? I searched online. I found a marathon plan. So I bought it. I didn't have a clue how to train for a long distance marathon. I'd only run 6 miles, and it's totally different. It was a 4-month plan, and I had to believe in the plan. So what I did was I just followed it step by step, followed the plan every day. But the problem was I didn't buy the coaching program at the same time because I thought, I don't need that. I'll just follow the plan. So I had no coach. I had nobody to ask if something went wrong. It was just me and the PDF. And the problem was I did get stuck. I got injured. I only ever made it up to 19 miles in training. And so I was 7 miles short on the marathon. If you've ever run a marathon, that 7 miles short is a hell of a big difference. So when the big day actually arrived and I was doing okay, got up to about mile 19, and then my brain told me at mile 19 it didn't know what to do next because I'd never done that before. I didn't know what to do. I was stuck. I was stuck at mile 19. I'd hit that brick wall they all talk about. I was out of my comfort zone, but I did know I had to carry on. And it was the worst 7 miles ever, but I did complete it. I didn't do it fast, but I made it. I don't want to do another one either. But the reason I'm telling you this is if I hadn't have followed the exact plan, I would have never made it to the 19 miles in the first place, but because I did have a plan. But if I'd have bought the coaching program to help, when I got injured, that would have helped me overcome it. And I've been able to plan my race day around the injury. And when I hit the brick wall, I would have known what to do. So it's basically trying to do things on your own and trying to figure them out is not the best option. When you want results, when someone else has already done it, I learnt my lesson that day. The problem why so many people don't run a challenge is, one, they haven't heard of the strategy, but mostly it's because they're too scared. It is totally out of the comfort zone. Like running a marathon was totally out of my comfort zone. It was super, super scary. And the thought of going live, for people is really, really scary. They don't want to go live. They don't want to build a community. It's too scary. They feel afraid. And these feelings are supernatural. But if you have a plan, that's when the magic happens. And if you've got somebody with you to do the plan with you, if you get stuck, then you will be okay. That's why if you follow the plan, you know it's proven, and you've got somebody to guide you every step of the way, following a plan, but also having someone to guide you is 100% better than just trying to figure it out on your own. So if somebody's done what you want to do, you can use their knowledge, accelerate your plan faster. And if you do hit a bump in the road, they'll be able to show you a way around it, and it's not to put your challenge plans in jeopardy or even pull out and not even do your challenge.